Mr. Miller is the boss of us, so he's going to be Mr. Krabs for my presentation because Mr. Krabs is like the big crab and SpongeBob and blah. So he's our Mr. Krabs here today. Yeah. So I know you guys like to listen to Mr. Miller's stories, but in case this time it's Mr. Krabs stories, but today SpongeBob is going to tell you a story. So, isn't that right? Yeah. Okay, so let's get started.
Why don't you get someone else to hold it so you can
Okay,
have your hands free.
Steal it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so, yeah, it's story time. So, I've got the whole thing. Oh, I did this to use SpongeBob's pants. I hate to do that. Okay, so, hey everyone, I'm SpongeBob. I have to do this from this perspective. SpongeBob SquarePants, and I'm a sponge and a simple animal that lives permanently attached to a location in water. Let me tell you all about the collar cell. Coenocytes, which are collar cells, are in charge of controlling water that flows throughout the sea sponge, or me. One of the most important parts of the collar cell is the flagellum. This part of the collar cell makes the water flow happen, and it has the water flow through dermal pores, which are open, which makes the water go in the sponge. Another function of the flagellum is that it can catch floating sperm in the water and produce a baby. Yes, not only humans can produce a baby. Well, we have skin, don't we? This is the skin that the collar cell has. It's called coenoderm, I think. And it's the layer of skin on the inside of the sponge. Neat. And coenocytes are found along that inner skin. In one of the other types of sponges, which are the cycanoid sponges, the coenocytes are found flowing out of the sponge on them. Now, the creator of this project, that lives in Rockville, but that's not important. Instead, I bet you're wondering where collar cells are located. They're located dotting the surface of the sponge coil, the spiral of the sponge, of the cell, in asconoid sponges, and the radial canals, which means inner pathways, in cycanoid sponges. Now, all this talk about my innards, let's talk about my wonderful spongy name. My creator's name is Samantha, and her parents chose it, but I have another name too. I have a cell name. It is coenocytes. It is from the Greek language. Koine is Greek for funnel, and site means cell. Thanks for listening to me about my fabulous body, and see you next time on SpongeBob SquarePants Under the Sea. That was
Okay.
so
Wait, I have a question.
I never did that.
Hey, just a second. Hold on. Hold on.
No.
I think I know what your question's about.
Let me make a couple of comments on this. This is one of the more creative projects we've had this year. He's been sitting on my blackboard for what? Like 4 days since Monday or Tuesday. It has attracted a lot of attention. So this is the kind of thing when you get older, advertising people do this. You know, like the little advertisements on Metro or advertisements on YouTube and stuff, things like that. This is the kind of stuff that they do. It's the kind of stuff that you just did. So later on in 10 years or so, 12 years, it might be something that you want to look into as a profession maybe. Okay? So anyhow, sponges are living things. SpongeBob himself is, I don't have one up here right now. Those sponges aren't real ones. Real sponges are the brown things that you get in like Bed Bath & Beyond. They're kind of irregularly shaped. The square ones in your kitchen are actually made out of the same stuff that your t-shirt's made out of, or a tree, or a piece of paper. They are cellulose. They're made to look like a sponge. Now, a couple questions for her. Louis, you said you had a question.
Yeah, what does it say in the bubble?
This thing?
Yeah, the quote.
The quote is what I just read. It's the information.
And yeah, there's another question I think over here.
Yeah. Oh, Dylan.
What was the purpose about my Krabs?
Oh, well, Mr. Krabs.
I didn't hear the question.
What was the purpose of Mr. Krabs in this?
Well, Mr. Krabs is SpongeBob's boss at the Krusty Krab where he works, and so our boss is good old Mr. Miller. So he's our Mr. Krabs for today. So,
I've been doing this for a long time. It's the first time I've been turned into a cartoon character. You have one more question.
So, in the sponge cell, what does it do to reproduce?
To reproduce, well, inside of it, like make a baby, you mean? Yeah. Well, yeah. So basically, inside this is a flagellum, this pipe cleaner, and it makes the water flow happen in throughout the sponge, but also it can catch like floating sperm in the water, like the regular human, so it can take it and make a baby.
Are there any other organelles in the cell?
Is that purple?
No, like you don't touch the sperm in the water, but it's
Yeah,
like
when you're swimming
it
around.
comes- it's like deep in the water.
Is that purple like a balloon or is that a ball? Because it really wants.
No, this is a balloon, and this is like the main cup of it,
No,
and
what's
then
the purple thing?
the purple is a pom-pom inside. That's representing the nucleus. If you want to read his keys,
Are there any
Oh, no.
are there any other organelles in the cell?
It's okay to say I don't know.
I'm not sure.
There are.
There are? Yeah,
There
I
are.
think, well, yeah.
They also reproduce asexually, vegetatively. We'll talk about that. We haven't talked about that yet. We'll do that when we do genetics, which means they make little clones of themselves that come off of them. Okay, so nice golf clap. Thank you very much. I'll put them back on the blackboard. We have 3 more.